Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam Mckola. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 5. I keep saying it and I can't quite believe what has happened at Old Trafford today. Manchester United resoundingly beaten by Liverpool 5-0. Now, before the game, you thought if United play as they have been in some of these games recently, we could be in for a beating. But I don't think anyone imagined 5-0 today. And that manner of performance from Manchester United as well. It was spineless, it was gutless, it was disorganised, it was disjointed, it was lacking in everything that you expect from a Manchester United team in a game against Liverpool. There were many things that went wrong for Manchester United on the day. A lot of things that went wrong for Manchester United. We can talk, and we will talk in this video, about the performance of individual players. We will, of course, talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, what that means for him, this result, whether it means he will lose his job, whether the club will act, his reaction to the game. We'll be talking about all those things. So get your thoughts in on the channel, on the video as well. Keep your comments coming in. I've just come in from the kickoff. I wasn't at the game today. And I had to watch it next to a Liverpool fan, unfortunately, and I was sat there and it felt like I was in a daydream. It felt like I was in a nightmare. It didn't feel real. It just didn't feel real. Like, even when the goals were going in, it was surreal. It was almost like my heart had already been taken out, and by 3-4, 5-0, I was just numb to it all. I was just sat there like, what is going on? I could barely muster a word. It was just a horrible performance from Man United. Look, let's start from the beginning. I think the team selection was wrong. I think we could have predicted the team selection. McTominay and Fred, Greenwood, Rashford, Bruno, Ronaldo. I think we could have predicted that, and that's a bad thing. Look, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still looking for his strongest 11. But it seems like we always revert to this 11. And it showed against Atalanta at the midweek. It wasn't good enough in that first half. We had to make changes to the team in order to get better. We made those changes. We won the game. So how we went back to McTominay and Fred in midfield, Greenwood and Rashford out wide. Look, I think Greenwood's had a fantastic season, scored some great goals. But this team is lacking in balance. It's lacking in cohesion. It's disjointed. Get proper wingers in there. We bought Jadon Sancho for a reason. Now, I think everybody's been quick to write Jadon Sancho off. I think everyone's been quick to write him off and talk about how, he's this, that, no goals, no assists. Everyone is wanting him to fail. But I've actually seen some bright sparks from him at Manchester United. And all we're waiting for is him to get used to playing with the players that are in the team. You don't get used to playing with these players if you're on the bench. And we need a winger. We need width. We need someone to provide for the man in the box. We need the man to be going back when we need to defend. And Jadon Sancho does that because he plays on the right wing or the left wing, and he's played there for a long, long time. He gives us balance. He gives us someone that is making sure that the unit is a little bit joined up. Now, you can do a lot more things to make sure that's there, and we'll talk about those later. But I just feel not playing Jadon Sancho is a massive oversight. A massive oversight. And then you look in the midfield, McTominay and Fred. Fred gives his all. McTominay, he loves United. He wants to do well. But it's not enough. We need quality in there. Again, look, Paul Pogba come on and got sent off. But we saw when he came onto the pitch against Atalanta, we need someone to hold on to the ball. We've got Donny van der Beek there. We've got Matic there. We play Matic in the League Cup games. We don't rest him for the big ones. And I know, look, Matic against Liverpool might be worrying, but they had Milner and Henderson in there. I think Matic could have probably held his own a little bit. And he knows how to play the role. They don't know how to play the role. And then you look at defence. I don't think he could have picked anything else. So the selection, I'm not arguing with. But when we look at the performance, disjointed. Remember the Everton goal where Luke Shaw just runs across, leaves the whole of the left, well, his left, their right-hand side of the pitch open. Does it again. Because Maguire's out of shape and out of position. And you just think, how is this happening? And again, it comes down to organisation and it comes down to work on the training pitch. Because far too often, we see Manchester United's defence bent out of shape like that. And not against team. Look, Liverpool are a fantastic team. The way they play football is great. We see United like that against Villa, Everton, Atlanta. Whoever you want, we see United out of shape, out of position. It's poor. As soon as you took Varane out of there, it's been a shambles. Varane will come back and Maguire will stay in the team when he's been poorer than Lindelof. Again, it comes down to crucial team selection decisions. And I think Ollie's reliance on the likes of McTominay and Fred is going to cost him. And even Maguire, like when Lindelof comes back, when Varane comes back, you're going to have to say, bruv, you're going to have to hold the bench for a bit, but that won't happen. And those key selections have let us down today. I really do think that, like, that midfield, again, look, Pogba came on and got sent off. So this is in the defence of his, like, he deserves criticism himself. I don't think it was a red card. Other people have told me I'm wrong. If that's the case, then, you know, what are you doing getting sent off when your mans are getting battered like this and you've been brought on as a substitute? But I just felt the selection, man, it was so poor. So poor, so disjointed. Paul Scholes, after the game against Atlanta, came out and said, look, Liverpool be rubbing their hands. And I agreed with him. I said it in that video we did with Laz. I agreed with what Paul Scholes said because the performance in the first half left a lot to be desired. A lot to be desired. And today we were worse. And that's because we played a better team who will make you look a lot worse. And I don't even think Liverpool ever got out of second gear, which is remarkable because they battered us 5-0 at home. And that's a shambles in itself. The team looked uninspired. Uninspired for a game at home against Liverpool when you need a win to get yourself back in the mix. That's not a good look, man. I said it a few weeks ago after the Everton game. You kind of feel like the writing's on the wall. And then when you see that, you think, no performance there. And I hate people who say, and I said this under Jose, I hate people who say the players are throwing the manager under the bus. No. For one, it's a completely almost different squad, a much better squad. And the manager is responsible for that squad and keeping that squad in line and keeping that squad happy or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't constantly go back to they're throwing people under the bus because players don't go out thinking, let's lose and get this guy sacked today. I think players want to go out there and lose 5-0. I don't buy into all that, throwing people under the bus stuff. We looked uninspired today and you've got to rally your troops. It's Man United, Liverpool. In fact, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. And I just thought it was another thing which made me think, whoa, this is bad. The disjointedness, that is really bad. Like, Maguire's so poor for the first and the second goals. I've wiped most of the game out of my mind, but I've just thought of those two things. It's like, what are you doing? But again, I think your defensive line especially, it comes down to what you're doing on the training pitch, man. And today we went into this game against Liverpool and it looked like, right, we're going to go 4-2-3-1. McTominay and Fred, that means we're well covered. They're going to protect us and we'll just go for it. That's so stupid and so naive. There's a way you can go for it, but be sensible. And we had that chance with Bruno where he should have scored and it would have been 1-0 United. But you can't go, actually, if we scored that, because again, that's not an excuse. And we keep going. McTominay and Fred offer us defensive protection. They do not. They do not. Their pressing's poor. They work hard and they move a lot, but their pressing's poor. Tackling's poor. Lack of interceptions. Not aggressive enough. And I don't mean just flying in and snapping. I mean, being forward front. Sorry, on the front foot. I can't even speak. But that McFred thing, it doesn't offer us protection. And I remember in the overlap when we were talking with Neville and Scholesy, and I was saying, what do you think about McTominay and Fred? And like and then Josh asked Scholes, who would you play in midfield in with McTominay? And you just think, if there's like that's look, I love Scott McTominay. He's one of us. A great squad player to have, I think. Scores crucial goals at times. He contributes to the squad. But the position that we're asking him to play is a specialist position. He can't do it. And we're asking him to do it every week with Fred, and they can't do it. Today I thought, go Fred Pogba. Fred showed something against Atlanta. Pogba came on, changed the game. If you're Jordan Henderson, James Milner, they didn't even have Fabinho today. If you're Jordan Henderson, James Milner, and you're going, can I pick United's midfield? You'll probably go with McTominay and Fred. And you don't pick Pogba. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. So, yeah, I thought Scholesy was bang on during the week. I said that a little bit earlier as well. I thought Scholesy was bang on during the week, that they'd be rubbing their hands together. And that's exactly what happened. So, yeah. Gutted, man. Gutted. You know, you just don't know what to say anymore. It's sad, man. And then you look at the performance again, outside of conceding the goals. Once we conceded 2 goals, 3 goals, it just got worse and worse and worse. Obviously, the red card didn't help. I thought Ronaldo's goal wasn't offside. But those things aren't affecting the end game, which is a pathetic performance, a horrible result, and United being embarrassed at home against Liverpool. A Liverpool team that had a few injuries as well. It's a joke. It's a joke. And we're going to get all these apologies. We're going to get all these different statements. It's just boring. It's just boring. We need to see action on the pitch. We need to see a reaction. And we haven't quite had it. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, on the other hand, I thought today, if we lost, he wouldn't get sacked. But the manner of this defeat, I don't know, it makes me think there's a possibility there. It makes me think there's a possibility there. But I'm just gutted, man. Like, when he got the job permanently, I said it at the time, I don't know if he's the guy to bring us to the Premier League and the Champions League. But let's see what he can do. You know, the first 2 seasons, progression in terms of the league positions. You know, we become a better team. The transfers get better. But we just show him we couldn't quite get over the line in terms of delivering a trophy. You had excuses along the way in terms of we need quality signings, which we needed. We got them progressively. This summer, we had some great ones. Still missing that midfielder that we need. But we added some great signings. And you're thinking now you've got the squad that you deserve to build. You know, you've built the foundations to have this squad. Now you need to go and get that trophy. And it's just, I don't know, when the pressure comes on, you know, you think of that Everton game 3-3 at Old Trafford when we could have went top of the league and, you know, made a statement. You think of some of the semi-finals, the final. Look, I know some of them are games which can go either way, but just not getting yourself over the line, not getting a trophy, that gives you those doubts. And then those doubts creep in even more when you're doing this, and the performances haven't been great. I think the players love him. I think they like him. I think they want him to succeed. But I think he's starting to lose them maybe in terms of, you know, the tactics and all those kind of things. Is this working? And you're seeing that with the performances on the pitch. And yeah, it looks like I said after the Everton game, it felt like Sevilla. And people didn't understand why I said that. And they tried to say, oh, why are you mentioning Mourinho? And it's not even the same. The performances were different, etc. And I like, if you listen to what I was saying that game felt like a turning point. It felt pivotal. it felt like a significant result in the tenure of the manager. And Sevilla was that. Like, Jose never got sacked immediately after Sevilla, but it felt like the turning point where the tide started going against him and it never ever recovered. And I said that after the Everton game, and it did feel that way. It did feel that way. And unfortunately, I haven't been shown anything to suggest that it isn't going to happen. But, you know, we know what the board are like. He may hold some regard behind the scenes. Like, you know, we don't know whether the mood of the fans reflects the mood behind the scenes, although I imagine it does. But you know what I mean, where the board might think, well, actually, it's not too bad behind the scenes, we're not going to act. But you do start to feel like maybe this is the end, but they're not going to. We've seen with them, Jose, you know, when it became impossible to get top four, Moyes, Van Gaal, like, they do it when no top four is had, or at the end. But you do feel like Ali's taken us as far as he can. You just hope that he doesn't drag on like this for ages, because then you start to undo that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, sad though, man. Remember when Giggsy was caretaker manager, and I remember thinking like, I'd love for this to work, but imagine he gets the job permanently and one day you call him for his head. And now it's like you're seeing Solskjaer and people just going mad about, oh, this, that. It's like, the geezer's a fucking, you know what I mean? He's brought us forward as a club, hero as a player, but I feel like it's the end for him, man, unfortunately. And you know how much that will hurt him. And it's a shame, but we need to turn this around. I don't know how you do. But you know what as well, which probably keeps the board not making a decision, is there's no obvious replacement. There's no obvious one that you think. Like, I know everyone's sitting at home going, Conte, well, I don't think the club would look at him as a viable option. Although maybe they do. I don't know. They did Mourinho, but you know what I mean. Ten Hag, I don't think he leaves Ajax. Zidane, I think he'd want the job, but is he obvious? I don't know, but I don't think the club make the decision yet. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't have a clue. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And please miss me with all that. Ollie out, just 2 words. It's like, say something, you know, like, say something else. Like, say something which maybe your opinion is that, but just say it in a sentence. Say it with some explanation. Say it like I don't get all this pantomime shit, man. It does my fucking tits in. Phil says Ollie has hit his ceiling now. Time for him to go. A better manager will get the best from the squad. Feels like Lampard at the moment. Bart says Bruno must be benched. He's simply not playing in a team with Ronaldo as well. That's what Bart says. We got another one from Shriram, who says, depressing, we're becoming a mediocre team, if not already. Really hurts. See Ollie look devastated. Whatever people say, he's a legend, and I love that man. We need to turn our attention to the owners. Bart, I've read Bart's one out. Thank you very much for your super chat. I'm going to try and pick up any of the ones that I missed. Tim Sim says, thanks for providing us United fans the content, good and bad. Sucked having to watch that match on the kickoff. We'll have to wait and see what lies ahead from here. Thank you very much, Tim. Dylan says, let me be careful. Let me read this first. I think the problem. So he says, Liverpool fan here, no discredit. I think the problem for you is your players aren't like for like. Henderson can replace Fabinho, for example. We don't have a balanced team, 11. But I only think we're one player away from that. So we should play as much of a balanced team as we can. But I get what you're saying. Thank you for your super chats. If I've missed any out, then I do apologise. I got Raoul's here. I honestly feel bad for kids that did not get to experience the Fergie era. Reminiscing is all we can do, man. I don't even feel angry, mate. Just sad. We have been very, very spoiled, haven't we? Thank you very much for all your super chats. I appreciate all of you guys getting involved on the channel. Appreciate you all. Anyway, Graham Potter, I don't know whether he can take Man United manager. I think he's a good coach, but I don't know about that one. Yeah, that image of Fergie is sad times, isn't it? Sad times. Yeah, man. I'm devastated. Not going to lie. Devastated. I would have loved nothing more than to see Ollie lift a trophy for us. Anything. Darren is laughing at me saying one player away from a balanced team. I mean an 11. So if you look at an 11, Varane and Maguire or Varane and Lindelof is a good centre-back partnership. Sure, Wan-Bissaka, as limited as you may think Wan-Bissaka is, they are good players. De Gea in goal, I think he's shown how good he is this season. Pogba and Bruno, if you get a number 6 in, you've got balance there. Sancho on the right, Rashford on the left, and a selection of Cavani, Ronaldo, Greenwood, Marshall to play through the middle. I think you've got potentially a very balanced team if you get that. You've got a balanced team if you get that 6. But one player away from having a balanced 11. We just haven't seen anywhere close to a good 11 at all. Try convincing Hansi Flick, says Nash. Thank you very much, Nash. Someone just keeps saying Wazza. Maguire is too slow, says Rye. That's the annoying thing as well, yeah. Look, Maguire was very good towards the back end of last season. Been very poor start to this season. But you know when Varane comes back, he's not the one getting dropped. And that's a problem. A big problem. James says Daily Mail gave Wan-Bissaka, first of all, don't read the Daily Mail, a rating of 2.5, and I thought Shaw was worse. Shaw was definitely worse than Wan-Bissaka. Shaw was all over the gaff today. Wazza to replace Ali, says Christopher Hawkins, who's been a member for 16 months. Don't know about Wazza. God. If we got to that point of the night, then I am definitely checking out. But guys, thank you very much for tuning in. It's been me just venting. I don't know what the future holds. I don't have the answers, Sway. But we'll never die, I guess. Let's see what happens this week. Got a long time to sit on this, haven't we? We haven't even got a midweek game. Got Spurs away next week. Oh, man. You feel like it can't get any worse, but it might actually. Oh, man. On that note, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Peace.